Okay, number 6, identify the type 1 and type 2 error that corresponds to the given hypothesis. Okay, the hypothesis is the proportion of settled medical malpractice suits is 0.21. So P is 0.21. This is the null hypothesis because it has the equal sign in it. Okay, which of the following is type 1 error? Type 1 error is when you reject the null hypothesis when it is actually true. So let's see which one says that. Well, if you look at the A, it says reject the claim that the proportion of settled malpractice is 0.121 when it is actually 0.21. And this is what type 1 error. What is type 2 error? Type 2 error when you fail to reject the null hypothesis when it is false. Okay, which one? It says fail to reject right here. So between A and D. Fail to reject the claim that the proportion is 0.21 when the proportion is not 0.21. So this is what type 2 error is. Number 7. Number 7, you really don't need to do much because it already gives you the output. You just have to use it to state the null and the alternative hypothesis. A single random sample of 50 adults is obtained from a normally distributed population. And each person red blood cells count and cells per microliter is measured. The sample mean is 5.24 and the standard deviation is 0.53. Use a 5% significance level and the given calculator display to test the claim that the sample is from a population with a mean less than 5.4. Okay. Your null and alternative hypothesis you have to select. Mean is less than 5.4 and then your null is always equal 5.4. So you make this selection for the null and the alternative hypothesis. As you can see in the output, it says less than, so you know that this is your alternative hypothesis. The test statistic, as you can see, it's right here. It doesn't say t sub 0, but it is t, which is negative 1.134. See how many decimal places you have to round. The p-value is 0.0. You can see it right here. And then you want to write the final conclusion. What is alpha? Alpha is 5%. Since this is less than 5%, you reject HO. And let's choose the correct answer. Reject HO. And there is sufficient evidence to support the claim that the mean is less than 5.4. So here you didn't need to do any work because we provided you with the output. Next question. We did 6, 7, 8. Assume that the significance level of alpha equals 0.05 and use the given information to complete parts A and B below. Original claim. The proportion of male golfers is less than 0.5. So P is less than 0.5 and this is H1 because it has the less than. The hypothesis test results in a p-value of 0.147. So that's your claim right here. And if you want me to write HO, it will be P equals 0.5. State a conclusion about the null hypothesis, reject or fail to reject HO. Well, since the p-value is 0.147, which is bigger than 0.05, you fail to reject the null hypothesis. B. Without using technical terms, state a final conclusion that addresses the original claim. If we fail to reject the null hypothesis and the claim happen to be in the alternative, we cannot support the claim. So there is not sufficient evidence to support the claim. Okay? Number 9. Assume that a simple random sample has been selected to test the given claim. The p-value method for testing hypothesis. Identify the null and the alternative hypothesis, test statistic p-value, and state the final conclusion. The age of actresses when they won an acting award is summarized by the test statistic. N is 83, X bar is giving, S is giving. And right away, guys, once you see S, you know it's a t-test. Use a 0.01 significance level to test the claim that the mean age is 34. So the mean age is 34, so it must be is, which is equal. Mean is 34, and then the alternative will be mean not equal to 34. There is choices here, so you want to select this choice right here. So is means an equal sign. As I told you, it's a t-test, and let's run the t-test together. So here's the calculator. I'm going to go to stat, tests. Second one, the z-test, you only use it when he gives you population standard deviation. You should not use it because it's the first test that you see on the calculator. So we have to use a t-test here. I don't have data, I have a summary, so stats. mu0 is 34. X bar is 35.5. S is 11.2. N is 83. And different from. Okay, and my claim happened to be here in the null hypothesis. Okay, let's hit calculate and see what we get. So I got T is 1.220. You can see the answer key is 1. And my p-value is 0.2259. Exactly, you see? And since this is bigger than alpha, so we fail to reject HO. And if you fail to reject HO and your claim happened to be in HO, that means you cannot reject the claim. So fail to reject HO, there is insufficient evidence to warrant rejection of the claim. You can see that. So that's number 9. Let's go to the next one, 10. An insurance company collects data on seat belt use among drivers in a country. Of 1,100 drivers 20 to 29 years old, 27% said that they buckle up, whereas 354 of 1,000 drivers aged 45 to 64 old says they did. At the 10% significance level, do the data suggest that there is a difference in seat belt use between drivers 20 to 29 years old and those 45 to 64? So difference means not equal to. So you want to test that P1 is not equal to P2. And you can see that this is the choice right here. So this is where your claim is, and it happened to be in H1. Okay, how we're going to do that? So we're going to go to your calculator and run the test. It's a 2 proportion Z test. Okay, let me show you how to do this. Stat, go to 2 prop Z test, and let's see if we have the values to enter. Okay, we're beginning with 20 to 29 years old drivers. Of 1,100, 27% said that they buckle up. He didn't give me the X value, but I can find it. So you do 0.27 times 1,100. Which is 297. And then N1 is 1,100. X2, he gave me X2. He says 354 out of 1,000. And we want to check that P1 is not equal to P2. And hit calculate. Here you go, guys. So Z is negative 4.16. You can see that. And the P-value is, don't forget the E minus 5. The E minus 5 means that you have to move the decimal place 5 digits to the left. So this will turn out to be 0.00003. And since he wants it to 3 decimal places, these are the 3 decimal places. It turns out to be 0. Do not disregard the E minus 5. That means it's almost 0, which is less than alpha. And if this is less than alpha, we reject HO. And if we reject HO and the claim happened to be in H1, we support the claim. So at the 10% significance level rejected, so the data provides sufficient evidence to accept H1 and support the claim. if you see HA or H1, it's very much the same thing. Some books use A and other books use 1. Okay, so that's number 10.